Hi guys, and welcome to this lesson where we're going to add the status feed to our application. So at the moment, when we look at our profile, we see only the snapshots that we have added. Now, by the end of this lesson, our profile will show a status feed of users that we follow and their snapshots. Our status feed will be an array of the snapshots from the users being followed by the current user, along with the user's own snapshots. The purpose of the status feed is to pull from the database snapshots whose user IDs correspond to the users being followed by the current user. Simple enough. If I follow you, I want to see your snapshots in my feed. So what exactly is our feed going to do? Obviously, it's going to feed a view of snapshots. But how does it retrieve these snapshots from the database? What kind of SQL query is required? We need to select all of the snapshots from the snapshots table with IDs corresponding to the users being followed by another user. Let's jump back into our console, have it here. Let me close my server and let me clear this up. Essentially, what we're going to need is an array of IDs corresponding to the user being followed. We're going to assemble our array over several steps. So let me fire up the console, Rails console. Perfect. Now, this is only for demonstration purposes. You don't have to enter this into your console if you don't want to. Just follow along. Square brackets, 1, 2, 3, 4, dot map, curly brackets, pipe I, close pipe, I dot 2 underscore s, close our curly brackets. Here we're using map to convert an array of integers, which in our example are our user IDs, to an array of strings. That's done by iterating over each integer in .map using I and then I2 underscore s to convert to strings. Now this is done so often that there is a shorthand. Hit enter there. There you go. We now have an array of strings. We could equally do it with .map brackets ampersand 2 underscore s, close brackets, hit enter. Same thing, a little bit shorter. We can use the join method to create a string composed of the IDs by joining them on the comma space. So our previous command, .join, let's join on the comma. There we go, hit enter. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our array is now being joined together. We can use this method to construct an array of followed IDs by calling ID on each element in user.following. For the first user in the database, this array would be user.first.following.map ampersand ID. Let's take a look what this would look like. User.first.following.map ampersand colon ID. Because this code is so useful, active record provides it by default. User.first.following underscore IDs. So where we have map here, just take that out, underscore IDs. So what we're doing now is constructing an array of following IDs by calling ID on each element in user.following. For the first user in the database, we can see what the array looks like now. In this line of code here, the following underscore IDs method is created by active record based on the has underscore many following association. All we need to do is append underscore IDs to the association name, which will return the IDs corresponding to user.follow collection. To get a string of followed user underscore IDs, we could do the following. User.first.following underscore IDs dot join There you go, look. Now we have a string of followed user IDs, so users that we are following within our live application. When we insert SQL into a string, we don't need to go to all of this trouble. The question mark interpolation does most of the hard work for us. This means we can use following underscore IDs by itself, which would mean our query would look like the following. Snapshot, so we're querying snapshots where, so retrieve any snapshots where user underscore ID in question mark or user underscore ID question mark again, close our double quotes, comma, following underscore IDs, comma, ID, and close our brackets. What happens if I hit enter here? Let's take a look. Undefined local variable following IDs. That's okay. Don't worry about that. What we're more interested in is actually just this line of code. Copy it. And now go to appmodelsuser.orb. So I have it open here. And on line 27 on my screen, in our feed action, replace the current line with the line we just copied out. Save that. Start our server, or exit the console. Start our server. Server's working. Now look at that. In my user profile, or my user homepage I should say, I now have a snapshot feed with snapshots from other users, including my own test user, but also other users within here. Everything seems to be working away there. View my profile. They're my snapshots. But go to my homepage and I have a status feed. Okay guys, that's it for this lesson. We've now put together one of the most important pieces of our Orbit application, the actual status feed, or the snapshot feed, which allows us to see feedback to and from members of our organization. And if you work in a large organization, you will know that this type of application is commonplace, allowing you to provide and receive feedback for your colleagues. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next lesson. We're almost at the end of this class, guys. I just want to say thank you for bearing with me. It's been a long slog, but a very, very worthy slog. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next lesson.